He's coming. Alvin Lopez, everybody. Hey, come on.
How's everybody doing? That's a Loper, not Lopez. Does nobody call ice? It's Loper. Things are looking up for me lately. I just got off the phone with my manager and he said I booked a gig at Caesars. Not the one in Vegas, but Little Caesars down in Keokuk. I might do some sets between DoorDash runs. I'm suffering from a recent loss. I lost my mother. And she's not dead. I just lost her at a Costco. And don't worry, I'm going to go back and look for her tomorrow. My grandmother is dead, though. She, unbelievably, she was lactose intolerant, and she died at a dairy accident. She was run over by a drunk milk truck driver. Yeah, what are the odds of that happening? Maybe 2%? 1%? They said this wasn't the first woman he had creamed. And he skimmed her up off the street. I married my first wife for all the wrong reasons. Because I needed a toaster and a punch bowl. She married me for the wrong reasons too, though, because she couldn't reach the stuff on the top shelf. I finally, after 4 or 5 years, was forced to divorce her because she wouldn't make me a widower. Between her and my current wife, I went through a lot of crappy girls too. I dated, ugly ones, pretty ones. Dated a real pretty one whose head was so empty she didn't use it for anything. I mean, if she could nag in sign language, she wouldn't even needed a head. My current wife, we've been together 35 years. That's 30 years longer than I thought I'd be with anybody without one of us being incarcerated. Yeah, my brother set us up. I had reservations, though, because I heard she was quite a fighter. It's like, yeah, she's a fighter. But then I saw her box. You want to hear something real embarrassing? My wife recently caught me jerking off. Yeah, I forgot she was in the car. I wanted to be a stay-at-home dad, but I couldn't, because that's where my kids were. You remember back in the day when UNICEF would come knock on your door and they'd say, for 75 cents you feed a kid in Africa. I always wanted to do that, but I couldn't afford to send my kids there. Being dad was a really tough job. You never knew how your decisions were going to affect them, throughout their lives, And I recently had a conversation with my daughter, and she said high school really fucked her up. She said between the sexual harassment, the shitty food, there was a school shooting one year, a couple of kids didn't make it. And I told her, I said, yeah, I'm sorry. In hindsight, I guess homeschooling probably wasn't a good idea. But being Papa's the best. I mean, I love being Papa. I've got a 4-year-old grandson that's going on 50. I think he's a reincarnated old soul, just by the way he talks, I told him, hey, pick out some toys. We're going to go to the restaurant. I said, you can go get 4 or 5 toys, and he comes back with a handful of toys, and none of them connected or anything to do with each other. And I thought, are these the toys you want to take? And he said, yeah. I did some research, and this is what came out on top. So I picture this 4-year-old in a lab coat going door to door. How would you rate this toy here? I was giving him a bath the other day, and I bought him some bath sharks and the little dolphins and fish and stuff, and he's taking a bubble bath and playing with the fish, and I realize I can't see the great white shark anymore, and I look, and he's got it on his penis. So like any good grandfather, I went out and bought a bigger shark for my bath. He gets out of the tub and he's doing this. And he just keeps doing that. And I'm trying to figure out what he's doing, and then I realize he's looking at his shadow on the floor to the side. And he says, "Papa, I got a really big penis." So I tried it, and it wasn't no shadow. Got 6 more weeks of winter. Thanks, you guys have been great.
Hey, give it up for Elmer Loper, everybody. Elmer Loper. Not Lopez, that's my bad. Not trying to get ice cold here, you're right.